The Glimmer Man. And here's a story on Reddit, posted by Angry Mama Bear 90, 1 month ago. And Angry Mama Bear 90 says, about a year ago, I moved my family and I to a home way out in the woods in Tennessee. I wanted to be brief here, but I need to get this off my chest. The nights here can be extremely loud. Between the crickets, the tree frogs, and the cicadas can be almost deafening. One night, not too long after we moved in, I had forgotten something in my car and headed outside to get it. The first thing that struck me as odd was that my dog would not go outside with me. My dog goes everywhere with me, but not this night. She looked up at me like, nope. So I walked out and shut the door behind me. The second thing that caught me off guard was that there was not a peep. It was dead silent. I still shrugged this off and walked down my front steps, heading to my car. When I got about 10 feet from the car, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. I felt as if something was watching me. I looked around but saw nothing. After I reached in my car for what I had forgotten to grab earlier, I had this feeling like something was moving towards me. I took a step back and looked all around. Suddenly I heard one of my hedges next to me. One of the hedges that line our walkway to the front door began to rattle. At first I thought it was a rabbit that I had spooked, as I had seen one just earlier in the day. A few seconds later, I heard the sound of a large rock, about the size of a cantaloupe, landing a few feet away from me. It hit the walkway and bounced onto a shrub. I drew my gun and called out. The guy goes around armed. I thought it was a woman narrating, for some reason. It says Angry Mama. Angry Mama Bear? Angry Mama Bear? Maybe she's armed. And said, whoever this is about to be shot. After a few seconds of nothing, I began to think maybe it was some local teenagers messing with the new people. I holstered my sidearm and started walking back to my front door. Almost as soon as I turned towards my house, I heard a deep panting sound, like that of a huge dog. But what made me nope back to my front door? What made me rush, I guess, was that it sounded like it was right behind me. I leapt up onto my porch, turned and drew my gun again, expecting something right there. But again, there was nothing. A couple weeks later, I was on my porch at night, sitting on a bench with my wife. She got up and walked inside to get something as soon as she shut the door. And as soon as she shut the door, I heard that panting sound again. I couldn't see anything. It sounded like it was right on top of me. The sound was coming from everywhere, and it was very loud. Again, I noped it back inside my house. In other words, saying, nope, 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 nope. I noped it back inside. Now, at this point, I was questioning moving here in the first place. But after nothing else really happening, I let it go. A month or so later, it was a really rainy and stormy night. It was around 9 p.m., and my wife and I enjoy listening to the rain and talking about how relaxing it is. Because I grew up in Oregon, I've always loved the rain. Of course. And for the past 10 years, we lived in Vegas, where it would dump the entire year of rain in a day, then be bone dry for the rest of the year. For my wife, who grew up in Nevada, rain was such a rare thing, she loved going outside and watching it. So for us, this is an enjoyable experience. Except this night, things took a weird turn. As we were sitting there talking about the rain and relaxing, my wife stopped me and said, "Did you hear that?" I said, "No, what'd you hear?" She said, "I swear it sounded like a small child calling for help out in the woods behind our house." I said, "No, I didn't hear anything." After a few moments of intently listening, she said, "There it is again." I said, "I didn't hear a thing, sweetie. Are you sure you're not just hearing things?" She looked at me offended. But I didn't hear anything and said, "No, I'm positive. How could you not hear that? It was our son. I think he's out there and he got lost." I said, "No, he's in the house sleeping on the couch." We then both looked through the blinds that were open right behind us. We could see all of our children lying there. She said, "That's so weird. I swear it sounds like her son." I said, "Well, it isn't him. He's right there. Besides, I don't hear anything." She stands up and says, "Wow, he's really crying out for help. I need to go look for him." Now, at this point, if you knew my wife, you would know she's absolutely creeped out by the woods and won't be caught dead walking into them during daylight, much less at night during a storm. I grabbed her hand, and I said, "I've been listening intently, and there's absolutely nobody calling out for help. You need to stay here." At this point, I'm getting worried about her. She was acting completely out of character, not to mention that at this time, she was 8 months pregnant with our baby daughter. She then said, "What if there's some child out there lost in the woods?" I said, "Well, first off, I'd be able to hear them too. Secondly, there are no other kids around here for miles. And the odds of them being lost 100 feet from our house that's lit up like a Christmas tree is next to nothing." Then she said, "I know, but what if it's a kid?" Before I could say anything else, she stood up and started walking toward the stairs. I jumped up and grabbed her hand again and said, "No. No, you're not. Get in the house. I don't know what's going on, but you need to go inside." She then complied, and we both went inside. I don't know what this was, but it freaked me out.